Hello. For those of you that watched my other video, the book review of Fallen, will know that I am a massive Hunger Games fan. A few weeks, well, it was like a week ago now. Was it only a week? I went to see the film, and I did film all my reactions when I got home, but I didn't know there was a limit on how long YouTube videos could be. There's a 15-minute limit or something, I think. So now I need to time myself to do this, so I'm just going to film this again. It was a good film, but I was a little bit let down, I will be honest. I'll start from the beginning, really. The Reaping was good. I really liked how they spent time just before that to show how much poverty there was in District 12. I was worried they wouldn't get that right, and they got that spot on. Like, that was really good. Sort of, you just had the scenes of them hunting as well with Gale and Katniss, which was good. But he didn't call her catnip apart from once, which annoyed me because in the book he always called her catnip. But I love Gale and I thought he was played brilliantly. A lot of people were really annoyed by Liam Hemsworth being chosen. Some people are like, I can't believe someone that dated Miley Cyrus is in it. I really don't care who he dated. I thought he was pretty hot and I think he played a good Gale. Like I said, the Reaping was a little bit... I think it lacked atmosphere. The atmosphere that I thought it was. I think it's just because of the trailer, because the trailer was done really well. They definitely captured the emotion. I have a few friends who are even more obsessed than I am and actually cried at the Reaping. I didn't, but I might just be cold-hearted. It was very emotional, but they did sort of lack atmosphere. Effie was cast perfectly. I think they got her spot on, and I really, really, really liked that. It was quite an emotional. It's very emotional when she was saying goodbye. I especially liked Gale and Katniss saying goodbye. But I'm kind of obsessed with Gale, so that might be why. But I just thought that was all captured. Oops, really well. Sorry, dropped my phone there. I just thought that was really captured well. They were suddenly on the train, you know. I expected it to be they're on a train straight into Capital, but it wasn't. They spent a lot of time of them being on the train. But I think from what I can remember, the books were very much like that as well. The first book, did very much lag on with the train. I mean, not too much, but they did spend a lot of time on there. Haymitch was absolutely perfect for me, and he made me laugh so much, and Effie's reaction was quite funny as well. He didn't punch Peter. I'm sure that happened in the books. In fact, I know it did. But he did sort of shove him, I think. But you know, it wasn't exactly followed to the book there, but it didn't really matter. They did leave out one scene. Well, they left out a few scenes actually that I kind of wish they hadn't, like the Katniss eating like a pig when they said when Effie was like, "You're much better than last year's tributes." It was a tiny thing, but I just think it would have made it even funnier. But Haymitch definitely made those sort of slow moments a hell of a lot better because they really made me laugh. The Capital was perfect. They really captured the weirdness of it all. It was so weird, like the way they were dressed, and it was very futuristic. I really liked that. Again, I thought Cinna was cast well, although I don't know whether it's because I didn't read the books enough, whether I was really, really sort of skipping through the books to try and finish it because it was that good. But I didn't know Cinna was black. Whether it's described or not doesn't matter. I don't mind. It was just a little bit, when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, because I just didn't think he was. But there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wasn't expecting it. But he was cast really well and played really well. But he had a very sort of slightest trace of campness, which is good because I've always thought Cinna must be gay. In fact, I always had a mad conversation with my friends about how I would put Cinna going out with Haymitch if Haymitch was gay, which it's an odd pairing, but yeah, that amused me as well. I thought the tribute parade was amazing. They really did that well. The two tributes really outshone everyone else. Peter and Katniss really, really outshone everybody else, which was how it's supposed to be, and I liked that. the interviews as well were done very well. The Claudius Templeman, I think that's what he's called, the one that interviews, is actually played by the same person who was the voice of Dobby. Massive Harry Potter fan, and that was amusing. Not that you know the same. The interviews were really good, especially that moment when when they're asking if Peter has a girlfriend, and he said, well, that's alright, you win, you go home, and she'll have to go out with you, and he said no, because she came here with me. And just that moment of silence, and they did that really well, which I was really pleased about. Moving on to the training, that was done well, though I liked the careers, but they really needed to say earlier on, to integrate it, that these are the people from District 1, 3 and 4. Is it? No, 1 and 3. No, 1, 2, 3 I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's because it's been a while since I've read the books, and now I cannot remember because the film was a week ago. But they needed to say that these are the people that are trained to win the Hunger Games, and they didn't. So that was... But they did sort of say that they were the elite people, but it took them a while to, so it should have been done earlier. Rue was played well. She was really cute. And I just thought the camouflaging as well was really cleverly done, really good special effects, or whatever you want to call it there, with Peter painting himself in training. And then you've got the actual games. Now, in the trailer it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But then they counted down from sort of 15 and things, which was a bit odd. But, you know, tiny thing. What I really liked was that you got to see the game makers actually putting things into the arena, which obviously you don't get with a book. That was a really nice touch. I mean, something out of the book. So, I mean, quite often when films do things that weren't in the book, you think, oh, but that was a really, really, really good touch, which obviously you don't get because Katniss was in... Hunger Games was written in first person from Katniss's point of view. So that's a disadvantage with doing point of view or first person, is that you don't get that. So something that only the film could bring, and that was a really nice quality. I do think the games were done well, but the action scenes, which a lot of people were complaining about, was you couldn't really see them because everything was shaking. But I do think that might be because that's how they intended it. And they also had to tone the violence down a lot so it could be a 12 or a PG-13 in America. So yeah, that was sort of toned down. It was quite good. The burning tree was exactly how I imagined it. Rue's death was absolutely beautiful, like the way they filmed it. It was really well done. Made me cry. Everybody cried, I think, and the flowers were done well, and it was pretty, but not as well as I think they could have been done. But, you know. And it was really good. The Mutts, they missed a few things on as well, because they didn't really say that it was the other tributes coming back as they were with the books. Or as it was in the books. Oh, the cave scene, I can't believe I forgot that. The cave scene was done brilliantly, I thought, though there was a very little, in some places, a little lack of chemistry. But that might just be me, because personally, I don't like the pairing of Katniss and Penis. Katniss and Penis, I can't believe I just said that. Peter and Katniss, which makes penis, which obviously a lot of people found amusing. Like, that was done well, but then there's just little changes, weren't there? Like the Nightlock. It was kind of an anticlimax, and also the fact that they didn't actually put it in their mouths, whereas in the actual book they did. They put it in and then spat it out. And they just kind of very casually threw about the way, only one can win. And they didn't sort of keep the suspense. It was just like, oh no, only one person can win, and they changed their mind. And the Nightlock was good, though they needed to sort of explain it a little bit more. And it was kind of a anticlimax almost, but it was very good. It was an anticlimax when they went back and they'd won, but I think it was supposed to be like that because it's not all the pride of winning and things. I just felt the end was rushed. They spent too much time on the reaping and that, and not enough time in the actual games. I know it's very difficult to fit it into a 2.5 hour movie or however long it is, but they really needed to not spend so much time with the reaping and on the train and in the capital, really, because yeah, it was a little bit rushed, I thought. And my friend actually said to me yesterday when she went to see it that she thought there should have been more of President Snow and Katniss, which I agree. She said she thought that at the end of the Hunger Games was when President Snow had gone and spoken to Katniss. I think it's at the beginning of Catching Fire. We can't remember. I've got such a bad memory. So hopefully, if it isn't Catching Fire, then that will be put next time, because I do think they needed President Snow and Katniss to have that talk for her to give him a sort of, him to give her a last warning, like. And then you had the bit at the end where he was talking and saying this, so you knew that the rebellion might come. And that's it, really. Overall, it was done well, but it was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. I know that's always going to happen with books to film, but it was a bit of a disappointment. My dad, who's not read the books, he doesn't read, and he's a massive film addict, and he came out and he said that's rubbish. And he actually asked me and my mum what happens next so that he knew. And he said, well, it might get better then. And I hope it does. I really hope it does. I did love it. Don't get me wrong. But it was a little bit disappointing for me. So, that's my review on the Hunger Games movie. Maybe I'll do the books one day. Because there were a few little things that I've had as a fault. And I hope you enjoyed this as well. And if you're watching this, and you want to go check out my other video, which is my first ever video and I uploaded earlier today, is Fallen, the review of the book Fallen. So go check that out as well and tell me what you think as well, if you agree with what I said or if you don't. So, bye.